Hey, welcome back, brethren, sister, and other, to another exciting round of No Theoretical Bias presents Pilot's Progress, Pilot's Journey. When
Pilot's
last we
Voyage.
met, Pilot's Voyage. I don't make up the titles. That's
Strong
marketing's
start.
problem. So, hey, strong start. So, when last our band of Doty adventurers met, they had been sent, and kind of followed their noses out onto the Sea of Dust, a landmark denoted entirely of varying shades of gritty, fine nastiness. Obviously, the aftermath of some devastating magical weapon in the last war. They were following their noses, and also a small magical compass acquired by the group. And I'm hearing myself. Hey, how about that? Can we mute that?
You have to mute it because you probably have the stream open.
Oh, I do. That would do it. All right. Mark it, strike it, start over. All right. Hi. No, I'm kidding. All right. So welcome back. This newfangled internet is just confusing me so much.
I need all of the viewers to know that 20 minutes ago he was ranting about us kids.
Yep. Dial-up
Slander.
disappeared 20 years ago.
Slander. In my day, we had to murder a robot to get online. You could hear it scream. All right. So they're out in the Sea of Dust. A lot of dust, a lot of nothing else, when they came across a compound of some stripe. Obviously occupied, obviously being patrolled. A guarded gate. A secret little scouting expedition by Sumac, our Dryad Hazard, and by Shadow, the Reclaimer. Thief is such an ugly word, don't you think? The Reclaimer. Found the patrols were these lurching humanoid things cowled and robed against the dust until one of their feet fell off. Literally. They recovered it. The foot's been long dead. I'm not really sure how these things are walking around still, but it's a mystery. Also, Shadow very cleverly found either some sort of secret hidden storage area, a trapdoor out in the sand, or it's the end of some kind of bolt hole that leads into the compound. They have not explored that yet. Also, at a request from the group, they wanted to share some of the hypotheses that the various characters had come up with as to who, what, where, why, and how this semi-bustling compound exists in a place with no food, no water, and enough dust to choke a whale. So, Ukthor, you had some ideas. What did you want to share with us?
Well, party, I've seen it quite often. Those who have power, such as some magical caster of some sort, or somebody who has made some pact with some fiend or devil, not necessarily fiend or devil, but usually it's a fiend or devil, is probably controlling the dead in the area and using them for cheap labor, because oftentimes the weak, even if they're dead, are used as labor for the fires of industry, which is what I would assume the hammers we were hearing inside the compound is. And they might also be aiding to the reason why nothing alive comes out of the Sea of Dust, because, well, the Sea of Dust might not kill you. Whoever's killing people needs dead bodies in order to, continue doing labor. So therefore, at least that is my hypothesis. That doesn't do us necessarily a lot of good, other than there's probably somebody controlling the dead bodies, and if we kill the guy controlling the dead bodies will probably more or less go back to either being dead or having no direction, which makes them easier to kill, at least in my general line of working in the army and having people give me orders, and they're always target the commander first if you can, because if you can kill the commander, usually the smaller hands and troops go into either panic or disarray of some sort.
Beautiful. Did anybody else have any hypothesis that they had come up with regarding the location?
Wow. Nothing survives in the dust, and it's all dust, so wherever these bodies have come from, it's come from outside the dust. Being outsourced.
I think the theory of people coming in are the bodies might make sense. We made it through the Sea of Dust just fine, despite all the stories.
When the land itself is dust, it couldn't have been remnants of what was there before.
Oh, that was another thing that you brought up offline there, Micah. Why wouldn't, since it's relatively easy to traverse the dust here with your sand shoes and whatnot, why wouldn't the clean be using this as a throughway?
Not just the clean, anyone. Anyone at all.
Well, you figured it out. On foot, you're great. The clean is all about the big trade caravans full of water and coming home with a bunch of treasure. You could probably work something up with like sleds and runners and sledges and things like that to drag a whole bunch of stuff across this. But then it's, protecting the animals that are dragging them along. It's carrying literally all of the food and water and forage, no hunting, et cetera, et cetera. So it might make sense just from a logistical standpoint just to go around it. It's not that big. It's only probably 3 or 4 days march across. And point of fact, they did actually have an outpost here that was taken by the Children of the Phoenix at the Lost Oasis. So they don't mind going across it. It's just if there's a cheaper logistical alternative, they probably did it that way. But it was a good question. Anybody else? Insights?
Shadow just kind of looks at Urkthor, and you hear Revan's voice say, Urkthor. That's it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
I wonder, this is more of a question for you as the DM, if I would be able to observe and tell about how old those bodies were based off the foot that we got off.
Yes.
How long a carcass has been there.
Yes, excellent question. You probably would be able to do that. I need you to give me a cool roll first, please. Oh, well, that was easy. So the good news is you know exactly what's going on. The bad news is there is a blow coming in off the sea. You can see in the distance signs of a towering column of dust that's been picked up by air, coming down off the mountains. You're about to get hit by a sandstorm. With that roll, you have enough time to let everybody know and make some preparations. If it's bad, just based on the things that you've seen out here and your good buddy Hammer or Shovel One, this kind of thing can strip flesh from bones. Just imagine being killed with a piece of sandpaper. So you've got time, but you need to take it now. What do you do?
There's that convenient hatch we found. Let's not be outside when it hits.
Shadow points to their hatch.
If we can't get that open, we take the gate.
You said the wall's only like 10 feet tall, right?
10 to 12.
I could boost most of you over the wall.
Booster? I hardly know her.
If we would like to not choose the gate.
I want to find the person who's been telling the Kyantir bad jokes.
I've had that in my vocab list for so long. I've been waiting.
Remind me to tell you about the gray parrot I knew. All right, so boost over the wall. Depending on what's on the other side of that wall, if it's just open space, not going to help. I mean, if you hunkered down against one of the leaves of the wall, that would help a bit. You are wanting to be under complete cover, not only from the abrasion of the sand, but from the fact that you can't breathe the dust effectively. So,
but I think that is a good fallback. First, we start with the hatch.
Excellent.
We have at least probably 3 different ways to try to break it down.
All right.
For feasibility's sake, this glass is pretty rough, right?
Yes. It's not badly made, but it's got a lot of impurities and a lot of the granular sand is still in it.
How thick is the glass?
So a snake could pretty easily slither up that.
I'm gonna point to Micah and suggest that Micah maybe melt the hatch door, and we just all hop in.
Yeah, let's first get to the hatch door.
Okay.
Maybe the latch, not the whole door, because we kind of need it to keep the storm out.
All right.
Door,
So,
latch, it's all the same to Shadow.
so I'm hearing that the goal is to sneak around, avoiding observation, and make it into the hatch. Okay. Any dissent on that? Excellent. Okay, so the good news is the gathering storm is picking up lots and lots of smaller dust, so sight lines are bad. Your visibility is going to be in dozens of feet, so you can use that to your advantage, especially since there's not one but 4 watchtowers inside the compound. All right, so let's just say...
Question. Sorry, on that note, Sidewinder being a heat sensor and all, is there actually any heat around, or is it just shambling corpses?
You do notice now that you're looking for it, that there does seem to be several large chimneys poking up from that building that rises above the wall. Most of the chimneys are broken, however. They're you can see like 3 or 4 like stubs of chimneys. Sidewinder's attention has been drawn to those more than once, and you know that look, that's putting out some heat.
Okay.
So
that and how old the bodies were. Based on what I could figure out.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a sharp roll on that, please.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Really hard to say. You've got an advantage since you are a child of the desert. You know that that bodies exposed to a lot of heat and dust and dry can last a really, really long time. At least a decade, maybe more. Not fresh, not squidgy.
They've been here a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, my danger sense is tingling a lot with the oncoming storm, so let's get to that hatch.
Micah would like to, like, on our way to the hatch, scoop up some of this sand.
Dust.
Okay.
This dust.
Yeah.
Dust, sand, whatever it is.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Easy to do. I mean, just
just a little pouch of it.
All right. So the sandstorm is broadly worsening. So you believe you made it to the hatch without being seen. It's a very basic trap door. There is a crude pull ring from this side, but the problem is you think it's barred from the inside. What do you do?
Micah.
You said, I think is it wooden or is it metal?
It is metal. Shadow, you do have some experience with getting through barred doors.
I was going to say, can I try and pick it?
You certainly can.
Want me to roll? Artful?
Yeah, whatever your normal get through doors roll is. Okay. Mark experience.
Will do.
Let's see. Okay. Well, it's been a struggle. And you don't know what it is. You got some sand in your eyes. Something is very, very wrong here. What you have a slim little blade that you keep specifically to like stick in and knock the bar out of the place. It's very, 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 very wedged. Everybody else is watching you carefully, and that's when the figures start lurching in out of the sandstorm. There are 6 of them, and you are under attack.
Would we get
you and Shadow? Your danger sense flares enough so that you can be ready, facing the right direction. But you're up. Ukthor, what do you do?
I am going to bend bars, lift gates. I'm breaking the hatch open.
Damn, go right ahead. Oh, okay. Well, pick one.
I'll make a lot of noise.
Okay. With a gentle nudge to the side, Urkthor reaches down and pulls this thing open with brute force. You are in. It's a half stairway, half ladder. It's either a really, really steep stairway or a really, really easy ladder leading down into the darkness. What do y'all do?
How close? Oh, sorry. How close are the are the figures right on top of us, or are they like quickly descending upon us?
Your sightlines are measured in dozens of feet.
Okay.
Shadow's gonna crawl in, but like from the side, and just use their gecko feet to just cling to the ceiling of whatever tunnel they're in.
Okay.
Stay out of the way. Make sure there's room for other people to run in.
You're in. Who else?
How big?
Sorry. From what I can see, do any of these shambling undead look different from the rest? More important?
Again, wrapped in all-encompassing wraps and cloaks and dust-saving devices. Can't really get a look. They're basically figures in a sandstorm.
Alright. Is there one that's closer than the rest?
Yes.
I'd like to grab and drag one of them in.
Oh. Okay. Go ahead and give me a brawl roll, please.
And hope.
However, it's flailing at you with its arms. Go ahead and give me a tick, tick, tick. Go ahead and give me a D6, please.
D6. I think that's roll 1d6.
Yep. Or you can use the... Oh, ouch. All right. You take 8 points of damage. Apply armor. It's got hooks and blades and things embedded in its arms.
Where do I find the armor on here? I've got 1, so 5. Ow.
Sorry, 7. So 1d6 plus 2, unfortunately. So you take 7.
Alright.
How you doing?
Ow.
Ow. All right. But you do have hold of it and you toss it down the hatch. Hey, congratulations. Next person down gets to deal with it. Who else is going down, or are you staying to fight? There are 5 more.
How big of a hatch is it?
Big enough for one person.
When I did break the hatch, I was trying to usher people in.
Okay.
When you say one person, do you mean like one person to squeeze in, or do you mean like one person to like comfortably walk in?
It's, again, a rapidly descending micro staircase, aka ladder, ship's ladder, if you want to be precise. You can jump down the hole comfortably. You can slide down the stairs or slide down the ladder comfortably. It's not a squeeze situation. It's spacious.
Okay, so but like a yard by a yard, like a...
Yeah.
Okay. Got you.
I'm gonna go down the ladder, the ship ladder, and then I suggest Ukthor and Micah follow our rear and try to have Micah seal the door behind us.
Okay. Shadow.
That's why I was asking.
You're hanging from the ceiling when something crashes to the ground in the dusty shaft of moonlight behind, or daylight behind you. It's one of those patroller things. It's flailing around a little bit and it's trying to get to its feet. What do you do?
Do I know that Sumac threw it down there? And do I know why?
No to both.
I'm gonna let fly. I'm gonna attack it.
All right. Melee or missile?
It's gonna be missile. I'm gonna toss a knife.
Okay. Give me a roll. Let fly. Okay. Well, you get a little overexcited there. Shadow, mark experience.
I'm nervous. Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the roof of this passageway isn't as well constructed as it might be. You feel the pieces that you're holding onto, the bricks or construction, start to give way. So you go to throw the knife, and it goes clanking off into the dark, and you fall down catfoot to the floor of the space. It's not very far. You can land on your feet. You're good at that. But you are very immediately going to be face to face with this thing that has also gotten to its feet. Who is the next one down the stairs?
I was coming down.
Yeah.
All right. So you land at the bottom just in time to see this lurching horror, swinging arms, throwing hands. Better know sign language because all you're going to see are these hands. Throwing hands at your reclaimer. What do you do, Revan?
Well, the simple answer is a magic missile.
Magic missile. All right. Go ahead and give me a spell roll, please.
But it might just be confused.
Okay. Roll of 5. Is that even possible? What's your bonus?
It should not be. Let me...
Wait, I thought
No,
that's
you'd have to
2d4.
It's 2. It says 2d4.
I actually rolled the damage and not the cast spell.
Okay. I'm like, wow, Snake Eyes, first roll out of the barrel. Yeah, go ahead and give me the sharp roll first, please.
You just click the button.
Hey,
Much better.
I'd say that works.
Yes, easily. What form do your missiles take, Revan? Oh, they're wood splinters and
Yes.
Okay. So, and you did 5 points of damage. The good news is it hits time on target. The bad news is it doesn't do nearly as much as it would normally. You're hearing a lot of pank, tank, bonk, and there's somehow dry, squishy sounds that you don't want to explore. This thing is still continuing to attack Shadow. Who is the next one down the ladder?
I would like to quickly use the first time I've had to use it in peril. Use my forge in peril, so it'd be like quick to see if I can run my hand along the dust and stuff to like just make a slight like glass bit. Did you chuck the door, or are you holding on to it?
I'm holding the door.
Oh, you're holding on to it.
Break it open, and I'm holding it open as I'm
I thought you threw
gesturing
it.
people to get in.
I'm gonna just get in then and wait for him. Wait for him to like grabbing handfuls of sand as I go.
Okay, yeah, you could have been collecting it all along. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Micah lands in the corridor. Shadow, this thing is just trying to tear your face off. What do you do?
Aside from being distracted by the very pretty Micah Poe being thrown in,
and lighting up the whole corridor. That I forgot about that.
and blinding everyone in there. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to avoid peril.
Just
at this point,
completely dodging, or did you want to try?
I'm just gonna try and dodge.
Okay, cool.
I'm just
cool.
a little bird, you know.
Go ahead and give me one.
Let's give it a good old.
Okay. Yes, but you're going to have a hard choice. It's swinging, you're dodging. The hooks and blades embedded in this thing's arm catch on something of yours and tear it away from you, or possibly damage it. What did he get?
I'm gonna say it probably damages. Hold on, let me take a little look at what I got.
Tee.
You know what? I'm gonna say that it damages my very important pipe weed.
Oh yeah, you got the little pouch of that. That's expensive stuff. Okay, you're not getting that back easy. You hope it just ripped the little pouch away from you. You are going to be looking for that later. All right, so Revan, this thing is laser focused on Shadow, and is attack. What do you do?
You're muted.
Thank you. I will first off call out to it and say, hold your attacks or I will not resist to shoot you again. I will give it half a moment and then I will fire at it again.
Jitek.
The right one.
Okay, so now you got a choice. -1 ongoing, lose access to the spell, something interesting happens, or you have transgressed.
We'll take the -1.
Okay, mark it down as one of your global modifiers, please. All right, Sumac, you and Urkthor, the figures again are closing, not exactly rapidly. Shamble would be a more accurate thing. Sumac, you can obviously hear some clangy, slashy combat stuff going on down the hatch, as can you, Urkthor. The choice is either fight the 5 here or run now. What do you do? Sumac.
I'm gonna jump down. I got the one I wanted.
Beautiful. Urkthor?
With her being down, was there a latch on the inside of the door or just on the outside?
You said it was barred, right?
Yeah, it was just a fairly heavy latch. You got it. Basically, if you drop down in and hold on to it, between your weight and your strength, you don't think much mortal would be able to get through.
That is what I was going for. I'm going to hold the hatch over my head, and I'm going to jump down, and with my own, hopefully it doesn't break when I come down, but land on it to keep the door sealed with my own weight, plus with my strength holding it down, and I'm going to yell at Micah to get up here and seal it from the edges.
That's that's why I grabbed all that sand to shove in the crevices.
Okay, so Urkthor, go ahead and give me a quick roll just to see if you can do that without hurting yourself.
Oh.
Easy. It's like you've done this before. All right, so you're briefly suspended, holding on to the inside of this. There is a bar here to push out with. So yeah, it slots into place like you planned it. Now, Sumac, you're watching.
Did you do that 11 damage on the creature?
What?
Oh, 4d4. Why 4?
Because that's my friendly, so I get to double its effects.
Ah, okay. So go ahead and give me an extra roll for last time as well.
Oh right, I did forget last time.
Just 2d4, please.
Yep.
Filling it full of thorns.
Okay, so you did actually a total of 10 last time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so total of 10. Yeah. All right. Well, first of all, 10 does a lot more damage than 5. It is obviously armored by the sound, but that does a sizable amount of damage. The 11 you just did pretty much shreds it to the point where it's not structurally sound. Bits and pieces are still moving, but it falls over and is not getting up currently. So, in the bright white sunlight of Micah glowing in the dark, the dust literally settles.
I still need to seal the door.
I got it. And there's a sound of tromping footsteps from the roof of this thing and on the hatch. Urkthor, you don't think anything is pulling on this. You're not feeling anything about that. But there is plenty of room for Micah to get up there. Just because you're a little tense.
Yeah, I figured.
Go ahead and give me a
avoid peril plus something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, hanging off Urkthor's shoulder, Micah, did you want to just seal part of it, or?
So, like, that's why I had the handful of sands, because I kind of want to more or less wedge it. I don't know if the sand, like, does the sand turn to, like, glass or something, or the dust or at all? You said it's dust, not sand. Does the dust glassify at all, or is it just the metal door that I would need to kind of seal part of?
Again, since you have a little bit of time, it makes really crude beads.
Okay. Then in that case, I am pretty much gonna spot weld like a few points, not the whole thing,
right.
Since they don't seem to be tugging on it. But I'm gonna spot weld enough that somebody would have to rip this off the hinges to actually remove it.
Gotcha. Easily done. And again, it's Urkthor, it's kind of impressive to watch Micah reach out and just fuse metal. There's not even much smell of the hot metal yet. It's just sealed.
Is incredible.
All right. So
again, your god allows you to not only glow as brilliantly as you do, but also melt metal with your fingers.
Micah's gonna pat his head.
What is the name of your god again?
The Light Queen.
The Light Queen.
Wait until Urkthor meets a magma slug.
Okay.
A magma slug. I'm going to have to write that down. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you take a moment to take stock. You have some sort of shambling semi-metallic thing over here, badly used.
I'd love to look for my pipeweed.
Good call. Go ahead and give me a just a straight luck roll. Just no mod. Anything you got with no modifier.
Okay. So just 2d6.
Yep.
Usually this is the part where I'd torture my captive, but since it's already dead, investigation will do.
All right. So your hopes were dashed, Shadow. You find the pouch. It has an almost surgical rip down the back, and the pipeweed is spread over, 10 square feet of dusty ground. So,
I'm gonna pathetically try to scrape it together for a minute, failing the whole time, but I'm gonna try.
Okay. Again, that's what
That was worth jingle.
Yeah,
Morning loss comes across the eyes of the bird's eyes.
Urkthor, do you mind if I continue just riding on your shoulders for a little bit?
Not a problem. Danger sense has slowly started tingling less and less at this moment. Yes, clearly we're in the middle of danger. We are in a dangerous area, but
it's a back burner thing. It's,
okay, cool.
You've received some attention that you don't want, and okay. Remind me of that. All right, so Sumac, you're checking out the body there. So you start unwrapping it, and it becomes very clear very quickly what you've got. It's a half and half. Take a typical idea of a zombie, and then anything that's old enough to fall off or break, replace with created parts. Okay, so this thing has got a created left leg, a created right arm, anything that's still technically flesh, no blood, has been studded and spiked and wrapped and banded with sharp protrusions and hooks. You would not want to grapple with one of these things. And then the head and neck has had some sort of helmetry bolted onto it. With the lower jaw still bare. Again, obviously at one point a mortal creature, but not anymore. So it's this horrible amalgamation of... It's a zombie cyborg, basically. And has, again, had a lot of parts replaced. The most disturbing thing is that some of the replacements are very recent. This arm is entirely mechanical, but from about here up on the other one has been replaced, and the metal is looking fairly shiny and relatively sand scoured. So
looks like we got the scholarly type of undead bringer on our hands. Revan, could you come over here and look at what's making the thing be able to run the things?
What sort of magic has this thing moving?
I'm gonna first use Witch Sight to just check for spirit tampering and lovely whatever. So if it's possessed by a spirit to get movement, I could tell, but...
Yes, but... yeah, this thing is obviously an animated corpse, mostly, or partly. You are aware of some theoretical researches on things like necromancy, and there's a couple of different ways to do it. This one looks piecemeal, if that makes any sense. Imagine you had a big bucket of minor spirits, and you kind of chop them all up and get together a handful of enough energy to animate something and stuff it into the body. Yeah, lots and lots of different flavor sparks. They're all in a lot of pain, and that pain and rage and disorientation is being tapped into to sick this on anything moving, basically. So, yeah, necromantic magic, definitely.
Can I free those spirits, or are they effectively ripped to shred to a level that they're not?
You could dissolve them, basically, so that they wouldn't be in any pain anymore, and so that they wouldn't be animating the corpse. Yeah, there's not really... Do you have any moves or abilities that would let you tap into any residual power?
What do you mean? Like, I've got my casting... Bard Mojo might fit that, because it's... Or communion of connecting with the spirits, but, I don't have any specific spells, I don't think.
I mean, you could try... You'd be at a penalty. You could try to pact with them, and again, it's a them, and they're not none of them are a coherent entity. So you would be... Yeah, you could probably try a pact roll, but imagine you're forming a pact with a committee, and not all of them are fully conscious. So, up to you. Or you could just, send them on their way.
I can... So just breaking the spell should free them?
Yeah.
Or killing the undead?
Yeah, you'd want to split the skull. You want to get them out of the... And good question.
Give me a pact bond with the group chat?
Give me an observe roll, please.
Before you do anything ear undoable with the body, Sumac, was there anything special you wanted to do with it? You brought it down here.
Wanted to see what it was, see what made it move, and figure out how to make it stop moving.
Okay, cool. Then
things like these are not natural.
I was after his...
Agreed.
After my 5 resolves.
After his observe, I would also like to observe, but observe how the metal and flesh are together.
Gotcha.
And
go ahead and ask your question, Revan.
Without intervention, what's going to happen next?
Oh, yeah. It's probably going to knit together over time and stand up and keep doing its thing.
Nice.
You do pull one other piece of information. The animating force is not in the mind, in the brain. It's centered. Your attention was drawn to it because it's got an armored plate across its torso, and you're like, why would you armor the torso of an undead? There's nothing there. Yeah, there's a energy source that you're picking up central in the torso. So this is at least 2 steps away from the necromancy that you're aware of. Also, there's a question of how is it utilizing robotic arms when they're not part of the original body?
We've seen a few animatronic bodies so far, right? They usually have the power rings, right? Where are those power rings usually held?
Shadow, like, over their pile of pipeweed that they have given up on scraping together, they kind of tap their back, kind of in the middle, from where they remember cracking open panels.
That's not a similar place to where this thing's power core center and this undead thing is it?
Can I do my observe roll? Because it might help.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
We should put this thing out of misery.
Also to that, I am prepping to do... I'm effectively going to unveil my wooden arm, put it pointed directly over the chest where this is, and I'm intending to impale it with my wooden arm to free them, because it's hurting me.
All right. Yes.
Druids used to say the dead that walks does so on jagged rocks.
Okay, so
you have a wooden arm?
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah, I'm unveiling that from under a half cape that I normally wear.
Did I know about that? Did I know about that?
I feel like
obviously not.
No, he's all about himself. He probably didn't.
Yeah.
Well, for the revelation, I have a wooden arm which moves and shifts like it is flesh, but it is very solid. Looks to be living wood.
Yeah, it's a branch shaped like an arm, basically.
Shadow is very well aware that they could sell Revan's arm for a lot of money.
Lots of money. Revan, did you mark experience for that as well?
Oh, I did.
Okay, good. All right.
That's why you should.
Micah, what do you got?
Okay. What here is useful, valuable, or informational?
Which one?
Okay. What here is valuable?
Valuable.
Actually, can that be all 3 of my questions? Can I know what's useful, informational, and valuable?
Sure. Well, let's see. Informational. Oh boy, that's a lot of questions about this thing. Useful, informational, or valuable. All right, let's start with informational.
I'm trying to understand how specifically how the metal is fused to this, like, flesh.
If you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't have spotted it. Basically, it's a very thin ribbon or wire connecting the moving parts to the torso, embedded in the torso and then covered with armoring to keep it from being damaged. It's a very, very, very thin gold wire. You check it really, really careful, just in case it is orichalcum. It's not. It's gold. But again, the gold is quite pure and capable of carrying whatever information is required. So that's the informational part. Useful? What kind of useful are you looking for? Something that you use a tool, a weapon?
Not necessarily useful in the traditional sense, like more information, but useful is how would I be able to replicate this, or not necessarily replicate it, but disassemble it.
Oh,
Like if I need to disable one of these things, what is a quick way to do it?
Oh, easy.
Not looking at the spiritual side, because that's Revan's thing. Like mechanically, how would I disable this thing?
Well, you and Revan actually put your heads together when he points out that there's a power source central, and you're like, I'm seeing conduits carrying information. You flip this thing over on its face and start taking it apart, basically. It's relatively straightforward. The mechanical parts have been either bolted onto the biological parts, literally with bolts, holding it, into bone, or fitted and sleeved and connected across the back to other armor bits bolted on. For disabling, if you were able to pierce the torso, if you were able to hit when you get to it, the power source is it's a small box, also made of gold. But again, if you're able to get through the armor, aim for the heart, basically. Aim for the heart. Enough damage to that would shear the connections to the whole thing, and it might just fall over.
Revan, if I can get to the gold box and through it, can you release the spirits?
If we open it up, it should release them, but yes, I will try my best.
Is this box I guess, is it like a hatch box, or is it like a solid gold like cube?
It's not solid. It is. It's more like two halves that have slid over each other, and they put a couple wires around it. So again, not difficult to get into once you detach it. The thing is still trying to shift and move and twitch until you disconnect that, and then it just goes very, very still. Again, unwinding the wire, sliding it open, there is a gemstone, faceted, not particularly pretty, and it's got some lights moving around inside of it.
So it's shiny.
Colors. Yes, in a necromantic storing shards of tormented skulls kind of way.
Semantics, but
exactly.
It's shiny.
Exactly.
Shadow comes over to come help.
I'm breaking the pretty rock.
Yeah, I am stepping. I am gonna get in between Shadow and this thing to let him break this pretty rock.
But do I? Shadow just wants the shards of the pretty rock. I don't give a fuck about what's in the pretty rock. I want the leftover bits of the pretty rock.
Okay, Rev, you're pretty sure that breaking the stone will do it. Your educational mindset says there might be another way to do it too, so you can throw the dog a bone,
Can I try to use then you to probably tap into it and try to reach out to them, try to give them an outlet out of the, because I'm assuming the crystal is containing one, it's what's trapping them there.
Yeah.
And so trying to effectively throw them a line.
Oh shit.
You don't think so. You do, however, think you could talk you into pushing them out the other side, basically.
Hey, side note, for the DM.
Yep.
Is Pilot 1's, hologram that we had pulled up from last session still with us?
If you want him to be.
I haven't stopped casting it, so yes.
Okay. Also, side note, forgot my crucible thing. My spirit thing.
Is the Light Queen mad at you today?
Yeah, whether or not she's mad at me.
Let's see. Thank you. Yes, no, she's, again, very, very pleased with you.
And I'm gonna keep an eye on the passageway as they're all obsessed over the body.
There's a roll that I have to do.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you already had.
No.
Sumac, what was your question?
I wanted to keep an eye on the passageway in case there's something prompting down there, as they're all focused on the body I dragged in.
Okay, don't need an observe roll for that. So, yeah, you don't see anything.
Put Sidewinder on guard.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and give me that roll there, Micah.
I am quickly looking up to what it was, because I don't remember what it was. Is it just 2d6? Is that what it was?
Good question. I mean, who wrote this? Oh, I guess it was me. Yeah. Let's see.
Who designed this thing?
Otherwise, things are going to get interesting. Define interesting.
Here we go. Yeah, it is roll plus sharp.
Yep. Ooh, ouchie.
Oh.
Yikes.
Way to go.
All right.
Do I get XP for this failure or no?
Oh, yes. Okay. You do. So why is she upset with you?
She's upset with me because while I've been traveling, I've been trying to. She got bored of like the medals and everything, but the only thing that I've had to offer her is medals from the dust, the medals and the dust and everything,
and worship.
And worship, right? And given the fact that like she gave me such a wonderful gift in my glowing personality, it's not enough, right? It's one of those things like, okay, well, you did this, but like you could at least try and thank me in a different way.
Okay. I'm going to assign you a -1 penalty to all of your Crucible moves until you have a chance to atone. If you let it drag on too long, that might include losing your abilities until such time, and it might up the stakes on the atonement. So be thinking about that. All right. So here you are.
It's going to make this next part a little awkward. Micah wants to use their fire blade to remove the metal parts from this twitching body, or from the body. I don't care about keeping the metal parts. I just want the metal parts away from the flesh. It's not natural.
Does it matter what happens to the flesh?
Would anyone care about the flesh? Would any of you care about the flesh? Then,
really too desiccated to use for leather or anything like that, I'm presuming.
Then probably not, no.
If there's bones left, I want that.
But they... okay, well then yes. Yes, it would matter.
Sumac might just want some of the metal pieces that are, like, melded into the sharp metal chunks.
Okay. Then in that case, it does matter what happens to the body. I'm just trying to separate it without hopefully damaging it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a Heartblade roll, please. You are at -1.
With a -1. Okay. Yeah, that's about right.
Well, she's mad, bro, but she's not that mad. She's like, all right, you can have your fire blade. What tags do you want to alter out?
Hold on. How? That should be... How did I get an 11?
Well, if you rolled a 12 and it's -1.
Yeah, but I have a -1 hard. Oh, no, I have a minus... That's a tough roll. That's not a hard roll. Never mind. But, sorry, what was the question?
You get to choose 2 of those tags to add to your Heartblade.
I'm going to remove the dangerous tag.
Okay.
Maybe trying to smooth out some of these sharp edges. And then, I guess... What does close mean? Close is just...
Normally it's it's very short range. It's hand, so if you can imagine it like a fiery dagger.
So I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna go close, and remove the dangerous tag.
Okay, beautiful. So you are all gifted with the vision of Mika. A blade of sunfire springs from their hands.
A little scalpel.
And Micah basically cuts all the metal bits away from the flesh bits fairly precisely. There is a bit of a stink between hot metal and
Didn't mean to click that again.
Roasting flesh, but you did exactly what you set out to do. All the bio bits are over here, and all the metal bits are over there.
Can I try that? Pushing the spirits out of the.
What were you going to try to do?
I was gonna have you help effectively free the spirits. Try to push them out of the gemstone.
Yes. Okay. Give me a cool roll on that one, Revan.
Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little more finesse this time. A little more. Ouch. Okay.
I don't do cool too well.
Yeah. Mark experience. Shadow, I've got some very bad news for you. The shiny detonates. I mean, boom. And
there's an audible sob of sadness from Shadow's mouth.
All right, and Urkthor,
I was about to say.
Yeah, Urkthor, the dust was getting to you, so you're like, and it's a double whammy, buddy, because it kills your sneeze, and you also catch your face full of shards. Give me a D4, please.
I wasn't even getting involved, but no.
You take 4 points of damage. You can apply armor, though. So.
I can?
Yes, you can.
Cool.
I'm reminded of the time my friend bit into a fresh jalapeno pepper, and the juice shot straight up his nose, and we had no idea what he was doing. He was just holding his face on and screaming. We're like, what is going on? So, yeah, bad times. All right.
I'm going to spit out a couple shards of gem.
Anyway, completely...
Shadow scrambles over to the shards.
Shiny. With no patience to them, I still have
Maybe your face will heal on this time.
Are the spirits at least out?
Yeah.
Or did you eat them or something like that?
No, they're out. And they're sort of swirling around you. You're the only one who can see it. But you're sort of accreting a Saturnine ring of these soul fragments. You know, anytime they drift past your ears, you can't even hear it, but you can feel the scream. You're dragging around a cloud of spirit shards. It's very unpleasant.
Ignoring the things I can't see. Micah, I appreciate the artisanry that you've been going through to slowly take this apart, but there's dozens of these things. We are not going to be able to take the time to slowly take apart each and every one of them. Also,
Urkthor, this is why we sent a scout with you always. The point of taking one and breaking it apart is to see how it works, so then we can kill it better.
We have
understood. But now we know how to kill them better, right? Right. So, I'm not sure if the extras of those upstairs could actually explain to somebody where we went, but if they knew we went in this hatch and they know where this hatch goes, we should get a move on.
Not a bad thought. All right, so
in terms
I'm gonna gather up what solid bone matter and stuff like that is still there, based on what he sawed through.
That's a butchery scenario. That's going to take you, if you want, I mean, if you wanted to salvage like the long bones of the upper legs and
can I try and forge quick like in a rush burn off excess flesh because they just want the bones?
You've still got your heart blade up. Yeah, you can pare away stuff really quick if you want.
Okay. Do I need to roll for that? Or what do I need?
Sumac, give me a cool roll so that you can tell Micah how to do it right.
10.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the two of you. Okay, go over
Quick
here.
anatomy lesson around this bend, down this curve.
All right, and that actually saves you a lot of time, so you can salvage any amount of bones from basically anything from the knees up to. You might be able to get the skull, but that would be. No, you already got the bolts out. So yeah, you could get. Basically the whole thing if you wanted it.
Okay. Yeah.
Would the gold, like the box the gemstone was in, be worth Jingle? Because it is gold, you said.
Lots of this stuff would be worth Jingle. Oh, Mika, you notice all the articulation on the legs and arms? It's very similar to the construction of Created.
Okay.
So.
Because I will collect then at least the gold box, if not any other things of wire I can pick up.
Yeah.
Because we need more drinking money.
That's true.
Yes, but once again, can we loot on the way out and not on the way in?
You can loot on the way out.
Owen, between being knocked off the ceiling, attacked by a zombie thing, watching a shiny get blown up, and losing my pipeweed, how's that narcolepsy treating me right now?
Oh, like hell. Go ahead and give me a roll, please.
I also gotta check something quickly.
I am having a very hard. I cannot work under these conditions. I will be in my trailer.
Was that? There it is.
Where is it?
You're, not doing good. Keep moving. Don't sit down. Don't lie down. You're at -1 and going to everything. So.
How much health damage are you at? To health?
Me?
General question. I have healing now, so.
I was
never actually took damage.
I need to actually ask that. On level up, how does our max HP increase?
Increase your increase your tough.
Oh, it does go by toughness level?
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
hold
on. Do we?
Hold.
What if you don't have any?
Hold.
Yeah, right.
You know how it's like the shield. Their hit points is like 12 plus their tough.
Yeah.
If their tough is +2, they have 14 hit points. If their tough is +3, they have 15 hit points.
Okay, so HP other than increasing your tough to the max of 3 never goes up.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
I'm also not as hurt as I thought I was because the hit points on my sheet was already reduced.
Oh. Beautiful.
I have a max of 19, not a max of 11. I was like, there's no way I have the same HP count as Revan.
No, Revan is very
I have less HP than 11.
Yes. Very squishy boy. Very squishy. Soft boy. All right.
That's why we keep the pretty boy at the back.
Exactly.
Wait.
Sorry.
You only have 11 hit points? Less than 11 hit points?
I have
8.
I also have 8.
8.
14.
Oh,
I'm at 19 and you're hovering around 22 or something, aren't you?
I'm sitting at 23.
I have 16 without any tough.
Why, you're the meat shield.
Yes, I am. But I'm not the one getting hit, apparently, by anything other than crystals.
Yes. Crystal shards. All right. So.
And you took those crystals to the mouth like a chicken.
Micah smacks you in the back of the head. There. Now you've been hit by something else.
All right.
The bird falls over laughing.
Glad you're feeling better.
Raucous laughter. All right, so it's pretty unequivocal. You've got a straight shot corridor heading almost due west, definitely toward the compound. You don't know if under the compound, under the wall, whatever, but that's the direction it's going. and even in the bright light of your friend here. Oh, good question, Rev. Is Pilate still operational?
Pilot's operational.
Now, you do have the ability with prestidigitation to change the light intensity. Okay, so you can turn the screen off basically anytime you want, or he can just be there.
Does it make a difference?
Yeah, he's got
Micah's already there.
In order to see him, he's gonna have to turn that contrast to like max in my light.
Anyway, the disembodied voice of Pilate processing. Have any of you ever encountered an object like this before?
Mm-mm.
Encountered the two parts separately? Yes. Together?
Yes,
No.
same here. Yeah.
Seen shambling things, none of them were constructed to this
Somebody's trying something new, and I don't like it.
It's like
not.
It's like an organic created.
Yes. Somebody saw a bunch of created, got some ideas, and are trying to improve on something they were already doing that didn't need improvement.
Uh-oh.
So, I observed the two of you taking this thing apart. From what I know of my former construction, the processes are not terribly similar. Connection, yes. Not seeing any sort of ring ports. I will file this away for later.
Cool. I was half concerned that they were going to have rings in those chests of theirs. So, which one? Let's press forward?
Yeah.
We've already sealed the way in behind us, so it's not like going back's an option. Well, it probably could break that open again, but...
Oh, that's sandstorm.
It's also a sandstorm, yeah.
Oh, and I would also like to address the swirling mass around me, and I will directly say to them, I promise I will help you free the others, and I will get revenge.
Revan, are you feeling okay?
What swirling mass?
Are you seeing it too?
No.
I'm not seeing anything.
The spirits are angry. I am
The
going to help
spirits
them.
from the body.
Yes, they're out of the crystal, but
Okay.
they're confused and angry.
Are they the reason my goddess is mad at me?
Maybe.
I bet it's their fault.
Give me a cool roll. Nico.
Imagine taking a note.
That's a -1. Oh, I didn't include the -1. That's a 6.
You are feeling anger from the light queen. It's fairly primal. This isn't her normal vibe. She is somewhere between killingly insulted and mortally offended. Something, yeah, and you only have the vaguest sense. You don't think it's anything you did, but it's more like she's paying attention to something other than you.
Okay. Do I mark XP still?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, what do you do?
Convenient. I get to kill all of these things.
I say we press on, hopefully sneakily.
All right.
And depending on how long we go, if there's time, I'd like to apply what aloe goop I can. See if we can patch up some wounds and scratches.
All right. Anybody? What's the benefit of those?
It is so So an extra 1d4 HP per day's rest. So
Gotcha.
like once a day, I can add that on there.
Right. So when you're making,
do you want healing?
Momento.
Sorry.
When you're making camp, anytime you make camp, you take your max hit points, and that amount you heal half of. So if you're down 5 and your max is 20, you're fine. If you're down 19 and your max is 20, you get 10 back in a day in an encampment. That same person would get 10 plus a D4 with your aloe goop.
Oh, okay.
So FYI, and again, Revan is just itching to use this new spell that he has packed it for. What was the name of the spirit that gave you that spell?
That is just the sheep. I never learned its name. It's just a sheep. It doesn't talk. It baws, and so it's kind of hard to get his name from it. Or it.
Have you ever considered that it's its name?
Did you just say Bob?
Yeah,
Yes.
Bob.
I respect you so much.
Makes sense to me.
So very, very
Seems
much.
logical.
All right.
Thank you.
So yes, the sheep. It's this. If to anybody who can see it, and currently that's only Revan. It's this absolutely normal sheep-looking object. A little bit of intelligence in the eyes, and it glows. It's just, it's a nature spirit, right?
It's a celestial.
Okay. So it's got this very, it's a nice looking sheep.
It's got a little halo above its head.
I put it at the equivalence with Micah's god. It's the equivalent of Life.
It's sheepsus.
And instead of angel wings on its back, it's got little angel wings on its hooves.
Bless sheepsus.
It's like Hermes shoes. It's just Hermes hooves. Just
It's squishable. Oh gosh! Oh my god!
The sacrificial lamb.
Oh stop! I mean, it does kind of write itself, though, doesn't it? All right. So you talk to the sheep. Okay. Yeah. Who's currently injured? Besides Urkthor?
Not enough to be
It's
significant.
me. That's about it.
Yeah.
I took 6 to the face, I think.
Yep.
Or was it 7?
7. It was 7.
Seven.
Yeah,
Seven.
You could spark that up, Rev. Go ahead, give me a roll, please. Zoom. Okay. Is that with your -1 ongoing?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, again, lose access, unwanted attention, transgression, something interesting happens, or -1.
We'll do something interesting.
Something interesting.
You're gonna heal 3, by the way.
Okay.
You roll.
Wait, that does. Hold up.
Yeah, 2d8.
Oh, I have to actually roll. Okay.
You got 3 off of an 8. Ow.
Can't do anything about that.
Oh no, it's 10.
Oh, okay.
It's 10. Yep.
Yeah, that brings me back up.
The word in that spell should be suffer, S-U-F-F-E-R. All right, so it does work. Sumac, you are ravenously hungry. Please consume 1 ration and 1 water right now, or you're going to be suffering -1 ongoing until you eat.
Regardless of my stores in terms of water.
Oh, yeah, okay, so mark off 1.
I can mark off another day on that, that's fine.
Yeah, the water, yes. The food is non-negotiable.
Yeah, okay.
Beautiful.
You grazed.
Yes.
I was hungry.
Grazed with the Lamb of God.
Bob.
The god lamb.
Most of the spirits that you're dealing with are going to try to angle for ascension to at least lesser godhood. I'm just wondering what the sheep is going to do, how they're going to talk you into that. Anywho, all right, so you're all healed up. You're headed into
Goal one day is a green pasture.
the danger zone. All right, the passage continues. It ends up, now you can feel the hammers. There is a Urkthor, this is foundry stuff. This is a trip hammer the size of a refrigerator, and it's going thump, thump, thump. You can feel it in your feet.
What are the walls made out of?
Down here, this is old. This is old construction. Pre-fall. They are mostly brick with reinforcement, like iron or steel reinforcement every so often.
Is the forge coming from ahead of us, above us, or like to the side, like behind one of the walls?
Where does Sidewinder feel the heat?
Would Sidewinder notice? Not that he wouldn't notice the heat. Would he be able to tell with all the heat?
If it's all around, no.
Depends on where it's coming from. All right, so the thumping is when you first notice it, it's ahead of you. As you continue, it gets more and more intense. It's probably coming from above you.
Urkthor, do you want to do something reckless?
Potentially. I am one of the best choices for somebody to do that.
Hold me up.
Like
hold me up. Hold me up towards the supports.
How structurally stable are these supports? Look, are we actually below at this point, or? Okay.
Yeah, you're probably, the ladder wasn't short. You're probably.
How near is the ceiling of the tunnel we're in? I don't even need to hold you up.
Above the tallest of you, so.
Micah is a little bit shorter. Let me
I'll give you a little boost. I'll take a knee and
collapse the
Booster?
roof.
I hardly know her.
back off farther into the tunnel.
Yes.
Hey, Urkthor, I don't know if your family, clan, tribe, or group was into mining.
Not a ton. I'm sad to say.
You've got this like genetic memory of don't mess with the supports in the tunnel. Okay, just not. I mean, the whole phrase "rocks fall, everyone dies" would apply for this.
We hear you, but
Okay.
One but. I'm hearing one but. Four people. Hearing one going.
Consider
this a trade offer.
It is.
I need Sidewinder to wrap Micah up again.
It's free steel.
The ceiling above us seem? Does the foundry noises coming from above us seem like it's coming through a lot of layers of things, or like a foot or so of material?
Yeah.
At least 6 to 8 feet of material, and you don't know what kind of material.
That is more material than we should be trying to dig through.
Can Micah observe, like, while on the shoulders and stuff, can Micah observe the supports? Like, not necessarily to take it apart right now.
Oh.
But
you just want to check what
I want to see. This is another good thing to, if we needed to disassemble it in a hurry, might be good to know how to.
We're trying to escape a group, and so while we're fleeing, somebody swipes a pillar and kind of makes it slushy, and hopefully whatever is chasing us gets caught in the capsize. I like this idea.
Yeah.
Give me a sharp roll, Micah.
It's definitely a fallback, but
did that go through? That did not go through.
Only as a last resort.
It's just 2d6
plus your sharp.
Yeah, which is 0. -1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not a crucible move.
Oh, okay. It's just the crucible moves. Got you.
Yep.
It's an 8.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you're learning about that whole engineering thing. You're like, okay, that's holding that up, and that's supporting that, and those two. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be able to like make the building collapse in and on itself with like 4 pounds of C4 or anything. But yeah, you're like, yeah, okay, if I knock this out, that'll probably
slow an enemy down if we had to escape in a hurry.
Sure.
Okay.
Or a double handful of caltrops. Thank you, Sumac. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Oh, by the way, caltrops wouldn't probably do much on these things. They don't go ow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, well, you find yourself at the end of this long passage.
Do we have maps for this?
Again, I can draw you a map of a very straight
corridor. Isn't it just a
Okay.
hallway?
No,
Yeah. If required.
No.
So,
are we sneaking?
I don't see what good sneaking does.
Yeah, as much or as little sneaking as you want, basically. Right.
And there's plenty of stuff to mask the noise of us walking through a hallway.
We can hide behind Urkthor, though, and then they'll only see him.
True, but do we really want me to be the scout?
Given my sleepiness,
Danger sense, it doesn't make bad sense. Yeah, we could do that.
Given my sleepiness, Shadow is walking on 2 feet, which y'all never see. They're usually scuttling around on walls when they can.
Yeah. Leaning up against walls, eyes closing for just slightly too long, that sort of thing.
I had a question on danger sense.
Uh-huh.
Would it trigger for something they're not aware is a danger?
Isn't that the definition?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
I mean, like, conceptually. Like, if...
Like global warming?
No, they might know something's, like, off about it. They might not know it's dangerous, but they might sense that something's off.
Like, if something came up parading to be our friend, but was intending to harm us, would our danger sense go off?
Yeah, or something you eat looks completely fine, but it's actually poisonous type thing. Whereas you don't perceive it to be a dangerous thing, would it trigger?
I don't think danger sense tells you what is dangerous. It just tells you if you're in a dangerous situation. So in those cases, we might be aware, the danger sense might go off while we're getting ready to eat something poisonous, but we won't know that it's necessarily the thing we're about to eat that's triggering the danger sense.
But when we were in the sewers and our danger sense was going off, you and I were hearing, like, the skittering as, like, those ghouls started coming, though.
And so logically we connect the two.
But they didn't hear that. We heard it because of our danger sense. So is danger sense perhaps just enhanced senses? We're just picking up on things further out than the others?
According to the tag, which may be adjusted.
And would it be only physical stuff and not necessarily social stuff?
It says that it's a sixth sense, so it's not an enhancement of the senses, and it warns you of imminent danger.
Also, we are nearing the 1.5 hour.
I was gonna say, do we want to take a break so we can? Yeah.
This is
and argue about this.
And argue about this off.
Argue. I'm a benevolent tyrant.
This kind of came out of figuring out scout patterns, because if you can't tell or if it doesn't search certain things, I'd probably want the hunter tracker to scout ahead and tap me on the shoulder.
Gotcha.
If you sense something.
All right. Hey, folks, we're going to take a quick bio and obviously argue amongst ourselves on the rules that I have clearly and obviously written to be very obvious and clear. And I'm going to have to refine that, but thank you so much. All right. We will be back in a short period of time. Stay tuned and let us know when we're out revving. And we're back. So, just for the notes for the viewing audience, we have determined that danger sense applies to a clear and present danger to only the individual affected by potential danger. So, a potential enemy buying you a drink at a bar would not trigger it. An enemy handing you a poison drink would. And again, explore the phrase clear and present danger. All right, so you find yourself at the end of the corridor. There is a narrow stair leading up. Again, it's one of these ship's ladders. If you can imagine a ladder at a slant with very wide rungs, more like stair steps than rungs. Constructed of metal, again, very, very old. Again, in the dry, doesn't show any signs of rust, but old construction. And it's leading up, I would say, into the darkness, but if Micah is standing there, it's leading up into the brightness. You're thinking, that's going well above ground from here. So the ladder up is a lot farther up than the one you came down.
What is the temperature like right now?
You would be sensitive to that. Slightly elevated, but again, you are underground. There might be some heat leakage from someplace, but yeah, maybe a degree.
I'd like to take the lead with the scouting.
Okay.
Sure.
The ladder goes up again, probably 20 to 25 feet. It ends on a very small landing, big enough for one person to stand comfortably without being in danger of going over the side. And there is it's obviously a hatch or a door or a trap door of some type. Having seen like hidden passages and secret doors and whatnot in some of the ruins that you've explored, Sumac, you think you're on the inside of a secret type door. It's not set up typical like a doorway.
So the people who are currently holed up might not know about this.
Potentially.
So the crease on the door is very, very tight as to basically disappear into the wall, is what I'm hearing.
If you had to go ahead and give me a just a sharp roll, please.
Okay.
Okay. If you had to guess, the lintel is fairly thick, and the door is almost a frame. Okay. So basically, what you think is happening is the outer surface of the door is going to look like a wall panel, somehow disguised, so that the panel overlaps any of the edges of the door, so no light would come in or out. When you swing it out, the sides of the door are going to be this much larger than the lintels. Basically, you have to push it out so that the door can swing. You'll be pushing it away from you and swinging it out into space. So it fits like
a puzzle piece until pushed out.
Yeah, pretty much, and it's apparently pretty well designed from this side. So, what do you do?
There's a secret door up ahead.
Are we looking for finesse or the direct route?
Now you do. The sound has gotten louder. There is a clang, clang, thump, thump. You're hearing some additional industrial type sounds. And there's apparently a lot going on in there.
Whatever's in there likely won't like us. I suggest an ambush.
Maybe you have Micah not right by the door, and then have someone who's subtler.
Micah would
grab him and shove him to the back.
Micah would be at the bottom of the ladder. It doesn't make sense for Micah to be at the top because you would all be looking up at a light bulb.
That's true.
While climbing.
As much as I dislike being near the snake and the plant, I will probably be right underneath the snake and the plant. Snake plant! You're a snake plant now, whenever I talk to the two of you.
Yes. A Medusa plant.
Micah, doesn't really care about labels.
Micah, to ameliorate that, are you doing anything to try to shield your light at this point?
There's not really anything. Like, Micah, I feel like along the travels would have tried to like mat themselves down or something to no real avail. They're not trying to cover it up at all.
Okay.
Going to
metal would do it.
Next to
heavy leather would do it.
I have a very nice shield that I'm going to kind of flare out while I'm standing farther up on the ladder or in front of Micah to try to shield some of the light he's casting away from the doorway.
Yeah.
Potentially because, my shield is rather well polished, flashing some of Micah's brilliance back at him.
Micah will take a step or two back towards the direction we just came, away from the ladder.
Okay. So there's a glow, but it's not a direct sunbeam. Okay, great. By the way, Urkthor, you think if you were able to commission a well-fitting suit of leather armor, like hardened leather armor, for Micah, or even just oilskin cloak, oilskin cloak, mask, gloves. Again, they don't sweat. So
what about latex?
Stop it! You were not buying gimsuit for. You were not. Dear diary, they did it again.
Micah actually has a latex sensitivity. They can't do that. That's not an option.
What a shame.
Let's keep those kinds of fantasies out of this one.
What's worse than a moon golem fire mage? A moon golem fire mage with hives. Yes. Yes, don't itch. You'll just leave glitter. Okay.
You set it up. I'm gonna follow through.
I'm gonna be talking to my shrink, and then you know what they did? They bought a gimp suit for the fire mage. All right. Do you see the gimp suit now? Oh, the gimp suit can't hurt you.
Is it in the room with us right now?
Is it in the room? Do you see it now? All right.
Is it talking to that cloud of sparkles that you were mentioning, Heston?
Is it standing next to Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
No, Bob.
Yes, the children's book.
Is it a spirit?
This is the story of Bob and the magical gimp suit. Yeah.
You're not.
Go back to the game.
Revan,
and with that,
your spirits are quite agitated.
Oh, I'm very ready to go in guns blazing.
Okay.
I wanted to ask a question on that first. Based on what I saw with the crystal and the metal taking this thing apart, do I think my piercing arrows could get into those cavities? I've got an arrow or 1 piercing ammo and then 1 2 piercing ammo.
Yeah.
Based on having taken that thing apart and wanting to study it, what do you think I would need? Or what do I think I would need?
You'd have to do a called shot using your ability to do that, but I mean, even just playing around with the armor pieces that you have, you've got the arrow and you're like, junk. Yeah, I could probably get through this. It would take a called shot, but yeah, you're 80%.
Urkthor, I want you to take point when we open this up.
Yep, understood. On the same route of that, while I am a monster when it comes to standing sentinel, my other weapon expertise is with the knife. Specifically, when I brawl with the knife, I can, if I grapple them first, ignore their armor unless they're amorphous.
Amorphous, as in
amorphous.
change shape.
Yes.
Like as ooze.
And so, would that allow me to negate its armor and directly attack the...
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, it would. Yeah. Amorphous is less. It can change shape, and more that it doesn't have.
It's a glorial
form.
The anatomy doesn't stay in one place for you to. It's hard to stab it in the gizzard. If the
it's a
gizzard
cloud
moving.
of bees.
Yes.
Doesn't have
it
a
has
defined
armor
shape.
because it's a cloud of bees.
All right. So you're going to have to climb up and down the ladder to arrange who's
Rearrange.
who's on first.
Grab the bird in front of me
on
and
second?
slowly lower it behind me.
I don't know.
Third base.
Sorry, yeah.
I never go to third base on the first date, Ren. We've talked about this.
They keep stealing my knife.
Oh, yes.
Well, if it wasn't so shiny, I wouldn't.
It's not shiny. It's dark.
All right. So
We've done this
first-
before.
Polish
This
it.
is old hat.
Yes.
I'm gonna line up behind Urkthor
Okay.
and
beautiful.
get my bow ready for a Zen art shot when we pop this thing open.
I get the honor of shoving the door open.
All right. Yes.
You're always front lead. We've been through this.
There's a latch to trip. You do that, and it slides. It almost effortlessly slides out and opens. You're looking into the sound immediately jumps up quite a bit. There was evidently some sort of sound buffering on this. You think, kind of, sort of, approximately where you are in this building, because you are in the building. You're going to be, I'll draw it in as we go, but you're going to be over here at the extreme eastern side of this now obviously two-story building. The door swings open about probably a quarter of the way across the building, east to west, is a wall pierced by a bunch of openings, some of them glassed over, most of them have functionally chicken wire across the rest. The pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding and pounding is coming from that direction, obviously beyond this room. So let us reconvene here briefly. So we have got a rectangle, and it's going to be approximately these dimensions. Theater of the mind is a wonderful thing. And so about here is the room. Your secrety door type thing in green is going to be almost exactly centered. And there's a lot going on in here. You see some movement, you see some figures. Urkthor, there are light sources in here, but none of them are flame. You haven't seen a lot of these, but they are obviously some sort of magical constructs. All right, so the rectangular room you're in, again, across the way from you is a bunch of windows and open spaces filled with wire or small bars. Center of the room is dominated by a railing for a stairwell leading down. Seems pretty sturdy. Right in here. The rest of the room, there's like counters or tables or work benches built right along the walls, and chairs in front of them for work. 4 of which are occupied on first glance. On second glance, the chair stool support is part of the object. You're looking at there's two on the west wall. I'll mark them here. There's 2 on the west wall and 1 on the north and south walls, respectively. About here, here, and here. And basically they look something similar to the construct of Shovel 1 and something similar to Pilate, but they're basically articulated torsos, arms, and heads set into frames.
Okay.
And
does it look like they haven't moved in a while?
Oh no, they're all moving now. They're paying attention to. There are some. There's some pipes and pipes and valves and meters of a crude variety that they're apparently monitoring and modifying. The one you can see, there's like a dial-shaped meter that's inching up toward a red zone, and one of these constructs reaches out and turns a hefty spigot, and the indicator inches down a little bit, and they're in front of. It looks like a hydraulic computer readout. Okay, imagine you bust into the NASA 1950s space station control room.
Yep.
Now make everything based on hydrodynamics as opposed to electricity. So they've got meter valves, they've got things. Though it's fairly well lit in here. Again, all of the light sources are magical in nature.
Did you say that way going down in the center of the room, was that a hatch door or is it just an open stairwell?
No, it's on 3.5 sides. It's a railing about waist height on a typical mortal, and then there's it's almost like a baby gate. There's a gate opening there that you can go down. There are 2 doors on the far wall leading out into the space beyond. From what you can see where you're standing, there's probably catwalks. There are skylights built into the roof, so there's a dusty light. Considerably less now that you're in the middle of a dust storm, but you can see some dusty light shining down. And none of the constructs are paying you any attention.
Revan, does this anger your spirits? These
constructs specifically, or
not
and
these.
These ones here are pure constructs, correct?
These here are basically the top half of again, just eyeballing them, they're the top half of some pretty dumb created.
You said top halves. Does that mean they don't have legs?
They seem to be built in. Take a stool and put half a robot on top of it and bolt it down.
Okay.
Stool and move it.
Oh.
So I don't really have to worry about them running if they see us as a threat or anything like that.
I mean, if one fell over, it could on its hands, but it would be dragging a stool with it, basically.
Fantastic. You said there's windows in this room?
Yes. There are some small, high windows around the outside periphery. Apparently this room fills up the whole this end of the building top. So it's lit. It's got artificial lights. Then the wall away from you has got observation windows out into the other space. Some of them are glassed in. Some of them have been covered with like a fine mesh grate, roughly the equivalent of chicken wire. So
I'm going to ignore the robots and slink up to the far wall to look outside of the windows.
Ah. Okay.
Completely ignoring the robots.
Okay. And they are apparently completely ignoring you as well. All right. So looking down out of the windows, you're looking into a broad open space. Basically, this whole thing is one thing, one space. I'm not saying that well, words. So now there are catwalks that you can see pretty obviously. They around all the sides of this place. The underneath is divided into 3 distinct areas. The walls below are not, they don't come up this high, and you've actually got some catwalks built over them. So it's like this. The ones in the middle arch slightly, but you're looking into 3. That one's not going to be the right place. That one's going to be closer to here. All right, so 3 roughly equivalent spaces down there. You see some movement. You see something that looks like firelight, but it's an odd firelight. Coming from this, the far end. I didn't mean to do that. Coming from the far ends. The middle space shows a lot of movement and activity, and the closest space to you, there are the pounding. Again, this is got a very industrial feel to it.
Like an assembly line?
Possibly, yes. Yeah, I mean, 3 separate spaces, big fire at one end, pounding trip hammers. Yeah, something's going on here.
The fire is at the other end of the building?
Far end. And that's, Sumac, that's where you noticed the 3 chimneys when you were approaching. Again, they're broken off. Let's see. If everybody could give me a cool roll, please. I'm sorry, Sumac, Urkthor. Who's behind Sumac?
Probably Shadow.
Okay. The 3
the
of
bird.
you. Yeah, 3 of. It's a bird. It's a plane. If the 3 of you could give me a cool roll, please.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No. Do you want that as a 6 or a 7? Wait, no, you said I could only bump up my own, didn't you? With my hold.
I mean, if you want to spread the blessing, shiny one, sure, go ahead.
I'm going to bump that 6 up to a 7.
Okay, beautiful.
Slow.
All right. So, Urkthor, you can't put your heads together with Shadow and Sumac unless you want to go back. Again, none of the constructs has taken any real notice of you. But all 3 of you notice, you see fire, and there seems to be a lot of it. You don't smell anything burning.
fire without a fuel.
That usually means magic.
Oh.
And Micah, go ahead and give me a roll now.
A cool roll.
And
Yes,
I will
please.
start to usher people closer. Other than I'll point at Micah and I'll give the whole back.
I was gonna say, I'm like, where am I compared to this?
You're
As
down
well.
at the. You're still down in the.
I'm still
thing.
down below. That's what I thought.
Right. Okay.
Whatever Urkthor is doing, Shadow's maneuver just out of sight and is like imitating his little hand motions.
Oh.
Okay.
Can Micah melt things at will, like metal and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I have to do it. If it's a soft metal, I imagine. If it's a hard metal, I don't think so.
I imagine melting these
and it
things
has
just
to-
enough to put them out of commission would be good in case we have to return.
And it either takes time or I have to do it like essentially a peril roll, like a void peril roll. I have to do it quick.
Would I be coming in the room now? Or could I be?
Yes.
All right. Well, do Sumac, you and Shadow, you're at the top, and there's no room to get past you. Are you entering the room or staying in the stairway secret place?
Urkthor hasn't gotten whacked yet, so the coast is clear for now.
I'll
I'm
get
gonna
up
move
on a
out to
wall.
the side.
I'll do my usual move. I'll get up to a ceiling, kind of
Okay.
out of anything's line of sight.
Okay. Like heading for a corner or something, or next to a window so the light.
Hovering above Urkthor.
Okay. Yeah, you get a really good view. Actually, from that height, these windows are pretty tall, on purpose. You get a really good look down in there, Shadow. And Sumac, where are you taking up position?
Probably down to the left. Keeping an eye on Urkthor, but more looking at the door here, one of the two passageways, being the leftmost one.
Okay. So you're at the southwest corner. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Revan, you're just inside the doorway. What do you do?
Okay, first off, so it's just the constructed in here. Okay, the created.
Created.
I'm gonna go. Hey, Pilate, can you override them?
Okay.
Oh.
Is that a good idea?
That is a good question. That's a good question, Lieutenant.
I think it's a good idea.
Well, I have a wonderful story.
My concern is my design and those, for lack of a better term, dumber than me. If we were incapacitated, we would we had an alert.
That wasn't even my concern.
So, if you were to destroy them enough rapidly, they might not have a chance to sound a
I was
I am
more
damaged
thinking
alarm.
of trying to get them to listen to us over whoever's taken over this factory.
Shadow lets out a very quiet trill of the first part of Pilot's code.
Can I come up yet?
No.
Pilot can't smile, but he turns to look at Shadow and nods very briefly, with a quirk of the head. Unknown Lieutenant, I don't know their protocols. Just observationally, they look one function, maybe two, similar to when construction. Many created were made to build fortifications and could shovel or move block all day. I don't know that they would be keyed to my protocols. And it would be an attempt at best, and I would do that at your discretion. No feasible way of predicting success.
So it's an option. Okay.
Shadow's gonna point at Pilate. Or Shadow's gonna gesture to everyone else, point towards the tunnel, and then point towards Pilate, point towards the robots, and let out, like, the first little part of Pilate's code again. Pilate can't get hurt. Pilate is a spell.
My concern, quick story time. Side note, I have assisted in the raids of industrial complexes before. I have in the past been given orders to eliminate all that moves, and in those orders have eliminated people who posed no threats but were in charge of maintaining the stasis of a forge. Once you eliminate those people, there's no one keeping the forge operating as it should, and sometimes rather than the forge dying down and coming to a close, it spirals out of control, getting hotter and hotter as pressures build and build and build. I have no idea what is keeping that fire fueled, but if this is a scenario where if we inhibit these robots who may be performing maintenances, and that allows that fire to get out of control, I'd be very concerned.
Revan, do you still have your witch side up?
Yes.
You did learn something from the Dwarven Complex.
It wasn't a Dwarven complex, but yes.
Are there zombies coming towards us?
Not that you know of. Where are you in that room?
Oh, the dwarves are running
I'm
it.
currently right at the doorway. Is that
Okay.
magical flame all the way across the room burning like a spirit?
You are strangely drawn to the observation wall. You again drawn. Your feet. It's not quite unconscious, but your feet lead you over. You're standing next to one of these constructs who's flipping levers and twisting things. You look out on the north wall at the very far end of this building. You can almost feel the heat. It's more here. You can almost feel the heat. It's not physical somehow. There is a very powerful fire spirit over there.
Can I come up yet?
Sure.
Light Queen Part 2, Electric
Yeah,
Boogaloo?
well, there's a reason. So Micah is eventually gonna climb the ladder and everything once you guys kind of say, hey, it's safe.
Vaguely.
And
yeah.
while Revan is realizing that there is might be a fire spirit over there, Micah sees a blazing fire.
Yes.
Yeah, and
now you know. There is a spike of rage that burns through you. Your queen, one of her servants, one of her trusted, one of her children, one of her beloved, is a slave. Right over there. That's what she's been mad about.
Micah would like to start walking towards it, channeling that anger, getting angrier and angrier, and using Beckham's Bend to try and bend the flame at my will. Not necessarily at my will, but just the sheer anger and everything is almost like a magnet. Like Micah wants to be next to that fire, and that fire wants to be towards Micah, which is a cool roll.
Okay, are you going through the north door or the south door, or are you going down the stairs?
through the window.
Let's see. Everyone's kind of was hanging out at the balcony, right?
Yeah.
We're all inside the room at the moment. None of us have ventured out yet.
Correct.
Okay. Honestly, the shortest path. The second Micah saw it, it would be whatever the shortest path is to this thing, completely zoning out everything else.
Okay, so Micah marches purposefully to the northern door, flings it open, and strides down the catwalk.
Do you want me to roll the Beckham spend?
Yeah, going this way.
Okay. So let's see.
Micah hasn't seen Micah do this before. She's gonna take cover behind the wall.
Okay.
And grab Signwinder.
Seeing Sumac do that, Shadow's gonna trust that Sumac might know a little bit more than Shadow does right now, and they're gonna scuttle further back on the ceiling.
The original asteroid he came in was kind of explodey.
Micah is in nothing but like a pure, like the rage is, as they get close, the rage is building angrier and angrier. They are zoned completely out, and they are only focusing on this fire.
Okay, so as you make your way over there trying to bend your will, that's a 6.
Yeah.
Go ahead and mark XP, please.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
So I choose one of these. I would argue that it is either how contained is this thing? We're surrounded by metal, right?
Metal, brick.
Okay, so that one doesn't. It becomes very dangerous to me and others.
Okay. So the all observers see a great gout of flame blossom up in that space, basically towering. It looks like, you know, when you're at the restaurants where they're making the food and they throw the water on it and it just jumps up, the flame jumps up like that. Every one of you who's around gets hit with a slap in the face of heat, and it does feel physical. And Mika, you're channeling all your energies into this to get it to move like you want it to do, and it's fighting you. And some part of your mind says it's getting some help to fight you.
Yeah, Micah would just cast Beckham's Bend again.
Okay. Well, again,
Not gonna lie.
Dangerous to you and others.
Yeah.
You all watch Micah just walk straight into that flame. Basically the far end of the building is completely impassable. Micah, you walk into it, and he's glowing brightly enough that you can still see him in the fire. That's what's going on. Most of your gear is going to be trashed, probably. All right, and about that time, who's closest to the stairwell?
I don't think anyone specified that they were.
That would probably be. Well, I'm by the window.
I'm on the southwestern doorway here.
Yeah, I was gonna say most people sounded like they were away. Hunter, you might be muted, by the way.
Yeah, actually, I was trying to follow Micah as safely as I could because I'm concerned for Micah.
Okay. Safely at this point, you might get halfway across the catwalk.
I would also be kind of using my shield as a heat shield and pushing probably a little bit closer than what's necessarily safe.
Okay, so from what you can observe from up above, quick glances, there is a lot of activity going on below you. When this thing blossoms, now you smell the burn. Now you smell overheated metal and roasting rotted flesh. And Revan, you hear several sets of footsteps climbing that stairwell.
Okay, I'm gonna... Ooh. First off, we're gonna... Ukthor, where are you?
I am this circle up here. I'm pushing towards where
geez.
Micah was going into the furnace area.
I see. We're kind of on our own. Okay. I'm gonna be going towards this door probably then. Oh, where's the unfenced direction of those stairs?
Where's the witch?
There's the stairs in the center of the room. Which way into the room do they open up to?
It's on the northeast corner, so I'll draw it in here. It's just a little gate, not hard to get through. Right about here. There you go.
Okay, and I will prep magic missile aimed at whatever the heck comes up that, because I don't think it's friendly.
Alrighty. So, there are, oh, mercy. Okay, so what comes marching up the stairs? The first head you see is pretty obviously an unwrapped version of one of the patrollers. Mostly about half and half metal and dead flesh. It comes up, it opens the gate, steps around, and scans the room, obviously making note of anybody who's not supposed to be here. It does not seem to be making any hostile moves at this point. 4 more of them come walking up the stairs. And they are trailed by something different. The 5, let's call them the machined. 5 of the machined take up a defensive perimeter, basically, around that little gate. And that's when the 6th figure appears, moving fluidly, non-lurchedly. It is human-sized, human-shaped. The body is... It doesn't appear to be wearing any clothing, but the body is strangely featureless. It is an off-white, looks more like covering than skin. The hands are long, not excessively long, but like piano player hands. It does have a few... It's wearing a belt, fairly ornate, rings, a few rings on fingers, and a chain with a heavy pendant on it.
Are those rings shiny, and do they look like orichalcum?
Yes and no, respectively.
Is this person walking up like they would have authority? This is an important question here.
Do you know the phrase
they
walks
are
in?
Flanked by guards.
Do you know the phrase walks in like they own the place?
Yes.
Okay. The most disconcerting thing and the shiniest thing you've ever seen.
When you're done, I have something.
The entire skull is a featureless. The whole head. It's reflective. It's just take a regular, mannish skull and make it featureless and reflective.
Are they just that bald, or is it just that well polished?
It's metallic.
Metallic. I want it.
And
I'm cutting off fingers and I'm cutting off a head.
Pilate says, "Oh, retreat might be an option at this point."
Micah in blind rage sees this person of authority walk up.
No, you don't. You're completely encased
all the way
in
over
flame.
there.
I'm encased in
the
flame.
flame's
Can
all
I-
the way over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but can I not see through the flame?
You're in the catwalk. This is happening in the room.
I thought I was on the ground floor.
No, you jumped down. You walked out to the catwalk. You're wrestling with this flame. You jumped down. You're only feeling things at this point. You know you're in an enclosed space. There is there's a prison. It's a magical prison, and it's imprisoning again one of the sun's children. Okay, it's been here for a while. The impressions you get is it is quite insane. Okay.
The prisoner?
The prisoner is not bolted down to anything other than its own rage and pain. Okay. This is a tormented spirit that has been made to do something, and it's still in the prison, and it's a maddened beast of a thing. You are currently up to here in wrestling with it psychically.
There's no is there direct sunlight on this thing?
No.
No, but a few rays of light are coming in because of the sandstorm, but there's no direct sunlight hitting this thing.
Actually, you're dimly aware of a forge setup.
Okay.
It's completely blocked off from any outside light, and you think that was on purpose.
I was about to ask, because can I channel the flames that are currently around me to either melt this umbrella or literally punch a hole in the ceiling to get light to this thing?
You're trying to shape the flame.
Or trying to, I should say.
You are trying to shape the flame. It is fighting you, and it's got a force behind it. And again, it's got something else. This is a 2-to-1 fight currently, and you're not really sure of the specifics. You're a little bit out of your head. I'll come back to you.
Okay.
And that's when the thing. Again, it's hard to look around the room when you don't have any eyes. But the entity says, good afternoon. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Oh, I apologize deeply for the intrusion. I was the sandstorm outside. What may I address you as? I assume you are the leader of this place?
For the moment. I believe were I to walk into your house, I believe introductions would be on your part, or my part, not yours. Feel free to tell me who you are and why you are here.
I'm guessing this thing seems utterly unnatural.
Well, the way that Pilate responded to it is this is something that he recognizes from before.
Ooh. Sumac is going to keep a tight grip on her bow.
Okay.
Looking at this thing.
Apologies, of course. The name is Revan, and I was here to, we spotted created, and we were trying to find the source of them, and then we saw your location, and I didn't want to intrude, but with the storm coming in, we needed somewhere shelter.
Something odd about the reflection. When this thing is facing you, you're seeing your own face perfectly. It's quite uncanny watching yourself talk to yourself. You also get the impression that it's aware of the things swirling around your head. And he turns to look at Shadow.
Oh no.
Hello, little one. What's your name?
Uh-oh. Look, a shadow. Shadow.
Ah, Shadow.
Shadow scrambles like a little away from it still.
Yeah.
I'm like on all fours on the ceiling, head turned upside down looking at it, like bear walking away from it.
Yeah. It's again, it's very uncanny to hear the smile without seeing it and catching the sight of your own eyes and its face, or lack thereof. And then it turns to look at Sumac. And you? Yes? Snake's got your tongue.
I think she's gonna stay silent. This is from before. That means it's still around and it's probably dangerous as hell. You don't give out your true names to people without reason.
Oh, by the way, Revan, is Revan your true name?
Not my full true name.
Oh, well, yes, but...
It is his birth name.
Well, we're going to have to talk about face names, heart names, and true names here at some point. But now is not that time. Well, greetings, Shadow, Revan, and et al. You may call me Mengle.
Mangle?
Mengle, M-E-N. I would say welcome, but as you are uninvited, let's just say uninvited, not unwelcome, perhaps, but definitely. What are your associates doing out there? Urkthor, you're not going to be able to get any closer, and it is heating up from here. You are going to start taking damage if you don't retreat. What do you do?
I am currently yelling, trying to get Micah's attention, encouraging him to cool off. I'm not totally sure what to be yelling at this point, but I'm not getting much of any reaction, and I'm concerned, and no, I will not be backing off.
I'm not quite sure what is going on out there. It doesn't look hospitable for me.
No. The Master of the Forge is a very powerful entity in its own right. I am surprised. Tell me, Revan, my lord Revan, where did you acquire your collection?
Well, it's been a progressive, slow collection for me myself.
Your most recent collection, my lord.
I am very, very afraid to say that when we were trying to take shelter, I think one of your companions saw it as a threat, and, well, we had to defend ourselves.
Kumek's got roving eyes at this point. She wants to find either a weakness or a point of egress to get the hell out of here.
Let's see. You could probably squeeze out the windows if you kicked out the glass.
Essentially, I'm looking for an observe roll partially to see if I can catch something.
Oh, you're just looking for ins and outs. Oh, okay. Yes.
Ins and outs, and if this thing has a weakness, is that something I'm trained to spot? Because feeling like a cornered animal does not feel good.
No.
Shadow would probably also be doing an observe roll. I am a cornered animal. I'm not very happy about it.
All right, so tell me what you want to do. Hey, Revan, how many spirits do you have? not counting the shattered ones.
Give me 1 sec.
Is it just the 5?
I think it's just the 5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 5.
Okay. Sumac, you're up. Go ahead and give me an observe roll, please.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
3 questions.
Mm-hmm. The first one is going to be, how is that white faceless thing weak or vulnerable? I needed to hurt it. Am I seeing anything that I can possibly do? And I'm trying to think really hard to what fragments I have of the before. Is there absolutely anything about this?
You'd probably want to go for the center of mass. You'd probably want to go for the torso. You think if it's, let's just go with what you know. The Pilate brain was in his center of mass. Shovel, same deal. Even the construct that you stopped, center of mass, because you can pack a lot of armor in there easily. But you have no idea of the capacities of this thing. And if it's pretty, you're guessing it's pretty obviously created of some stripe.
Don't
even
forget
a typical
5-6 guards.
Yeah, even a typical created is going to be tougher than mortal just because it's more durable materials.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea what this thing was made for. You have no idea design parameters. So if you want to say hard to kill, that would be pretty obviously.
I do a recall knowledge.
In just one moment, I've got Shadow.
2 more questions
stacked up for you too. All right, second question.
What should I be looking out for?
What should you be looking out for? Okay, there's 3 of you, the least combat-oriented 3 of you, in a room with 6 constructs. Again, these are moving better and looking different than the shamblers outside. That 6th one is obviously at least as intelligent as Pilate, and he's worried about your potential. So, what should you be? The question is, what should you be looking out for?
Yes.
A way to get out with your skins intact. This would be a bitch of a fight if you could even survive it.
Okay. Well, then my last question is going to be, where's my best way out?
Best way out. You personally and the snake.
We don't fit places, and Micah sealed the door behind us.
Yeah. Your guess, jump over the railing to the stairs, hit the ground floor, and run like hell.
Okay.
Hope for an obvious door at some point, but yeah, just run like hell. But down the stairs seems to be a possibility. All right, Shadow, you're up. Give me an observe, please.
And as I'm rolling it, remember that I always find a hidden door, even on a fail.
That was a 3. How did you roll a 3? What's your?
I have a -1 for my
because you're
my cool. Yeah, I'm
okay.
narcoleptic. I'm having a good time
mercy.
here.
All right, mark XP. All right. Where is there a secret? You're looking for.
Rather,
so
I think it's specifically I find a
hidden doors, passages, even on a miss.
Yeah, but assuming there is one, of course, which we kind of came out of one, so.
Yeah. The good news is you know exactly where there's a hidden door and passage. Unfortunately, it's
you also know how to get into it.
And you
Oh,
do.
man.
Walk through the space that is not currently occupied by the hidden door. That'll do it. Okay, so that's the good news. The bad news is you get another question, but you're not going to like the answer.
Oh, boy. 1 second.
And sensing the danger that's kind of going on here, I think Sidewinder's going to start rattling pretty loudly.
All right.
See if I can alert everybody else around.
I'm gonna assume that I know which adversary is the biggest threat, so let's go with without intervention. What's going to happen next?
Oh, wow, that is an open-ended question. Oh, without intervention, what is going to happen next?
There's a lot of answers you could give here.
And he's going to give one of the worst ones.
Yeah.
Well, that question is actually answered by Mengel saying, "But where are my manners? May I offer you some water and a chance to sit so we may discuss some things peaceably?" And he gestures with one hand, and that flame you've been fighting this whole time, Micah, coalesces into a tiny, tiny knot in the center of that forge. You are standing in a blackened ruin of a like the foundry setup, and there is nothing. There's no connection to that thing.
But there's a little dot of fire. Little tiny marble.
Yes, but it's inside something. It's inside a casing of some stuff.
What do you mean? In like the umbrella?
No. You've got the forge, which is a typical. Now that you can see it, even though you're having a hard time seeing with the light glowing out of your eyes, there's a typical forge setup: trip hammers, etc., crucibles, molten metals, etc. The heat source is this thing. And
can I reach the marble? Like, is the marble the fire itself in like a little tiny thing, or the marble is in a like cage of itself, and then the fire is in a marble that's in the cage?
You can see it. It's in there, but there's sort of a swirling smoke between you. Okay. When you're looking at a fireplace and you don't want sparks to get out, you take the little grate and you put it across the fireplace. Okay.
Okay.
Imagine a magical equivalent of that that prevents passage either way. Okay. It's immaterial. It's pretty. If you want to try to force it, it appears to be quite durable. But yeah, you can see there's this floating little ember in the middle of this forge setup.
You said this is magical, right?
Correct.
Okay. If I stick my hand in, how does my reflection work with it? I reflect magic.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let me paint you a picture.
Okay.
If you take a grenade and you throw it out into the middle of an empty field, the force is going to expand as well as it can in all directions.
Yes.
Obviously having to fight gravity. If you throw it into a bank vault, the energies, the shrapnel is going to rebound multiply, only losing a fraction of its energy with every rebound. Okay.
Oh.
So a person standing out on that plane at the edge of the blast radius is going to pick up some shrapnel. They're going to be injured. Okay. A person in the bank vault is going to be chunky salsa. Okay.
So, Micah wouldn't know this. Micah would absolutely just reach through it. I am being fully honest. Micah would not process this. Their only goal right now is to get this thing.
Ren, stop trying to commit suicide via Micah.
What I'm saying,
Ren, I need you to give me a cool roll, please.
Okay, I'm like, this is exactly what Micah would do.
As the hand approaches, it won't go all the way in all at once. So there's a chance that you catch a glancing blow of the force of the magical power.
And only lose your hand.
Before everything explodes. Well, not necessarily lose your hand, but there would be a shockwave before you get the full force of the shockwave.
Give me the roll, please.
I'm trying
I'm just
to.
open. Sidewinder can.
You said
and
cool.
Uthor,
Alert
with
everybody.
the temperature dying down and no longer preventing him from entering, would be approaching.
That's with the -1. That is a mixed success. Wait. Nope, I reopened it. I lied. That is not without the. That is not with the -1. I don't think.
All right.
It does. I lied. It does show -1 on there.
Okay. So.
Ren, stop giving us heart attacks.
Sorry, that is a 7.
Okay. So, mixed success. You wanted to penetrate the barrier. You do.
Not a good representation.
At least partially.
Okay.
All right. So you reach out.
I'm not just trying to penetrate I was more just like trying to reach for the thing. It didn't necessarily.
And you do.
Yeah, that's all that I was.
And you do. So you reach out and you make contact with the Ember. Urkthor, you see Micah's body fall flat and limp.
What's happening with the danger sense?
On fire.
Oh God!
You are in mortal danger at this point.
Is his hand currently in the impenetrable magic grate?
No. When he fell, he just curled up.
Fantastic.
Okay. Micah, you're inside the enclosure. You're currently existing as another Ember.
Okay.
And you can approach the other Ember or not. I'm just going to draw your attention. There isn't anything between you two now. Let me come back to you while you think. Shadow. Oh no, you already did that. All right. So
Thornton would have, as soon as the body dropped, rushed to the side, checked vitals, and used his ability to haste, aka move at inhuman speeds, create multiple actions.
You're going to have to jump down.
Got it.
Whenever you are ready, I know.
Oh no, I was already down by that point.
Yeah, he followed me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then whenever you're ready, I already know what I'm doing.
What are you going to do, buddy? Check for a pulse. He's a moon golem.
True. In which case, we're going to get the body out first. Knowledge of danger, safety. Get the body out of the dangerous zone, because I already know this is a dangerous zone.
All right. So you reach down to support his head and shoulders, and you glance up, and in this forge space are these two embers, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
They're coalesced spheres of light. The one is, it looks like a cracked ball of cooling lava. It's black with like raging molten orange fire. The other one is exactly the color of Micah's light. By the way, Micah's body is currently not glowing. And we're back. And so, let's see, how much time we got? 15 minutes. We can do this. So, Mengel steps back, gestures. The other constructs step away from the stairwell. Please allow me to extend you what limited hospitality I have.
Can I do that recall I was wanting to do earlier?
Yes, please.
Okay.
We can do my thing next week. That's probably the better call.
Because it's going to be a big deal, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So what information were you looking for there, Rev?
Can I use Charm Person on a created?
They're typically immune to effects of the mind.
Okay. So that won't work.
Now, since you have bumped into a few of these before, and since you do have a couple of mind rings, if you wanted to take the time, energy, effort, and expense, it would basically be an extended ritual. You could try to come up with a functional equivalent of charm created, but
magically hack the thing.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
Not something I could do right now.
Not on the fly. No. So gestures downward.
Is downward leading towards where Micah and Ukthor
Yes.
are right now?
Yes.
Shadow's gonna scramble down, and upon seeing their beloved shiny friend no longer shiny, they're like on top of Micah, flipping out.
Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of a layout before that. In the downstairs, there is a sectioned off area below. Sort of like an overseer's or, probably in the original, like an office space, where all the accountants and so on sat. There's a door there. There is the stairwell, the bottom of the stairwell in the middle. When you come down the stairs, you see, at the far end of the, at the far end of the space, you see Ukthor cradling Mika's unmoving body, who is not glowing. So you go bolting across there. The space in between, you get a impression of other of these constructs moving around and doing things. The other two, what are you doing?
No way in hell am I turning my back on that thing. I may choose my plane of egress from the catwalk and have Sidewinder let us down slowly, because he's long and can probably hit the ground before the other end of him does.
Okay, so...
You ever see a snake kind of go off from one place to another thing below? Kind of that.
Okay, so Sidewinder purposely approaches the railing, coils up and around it, and then drops like a very hefty rope. Without taking her eyes off of Mengel, Sumac walks over, grips Sidewinder, and sort of fireman pole slides down to the ground below.
Spin on the way down. Whee!
Mengel turns to Revan. Would you care to take the stairs?
I would like the stairs.
Flap your arm, turns
I
into
just would
smoke.
like to make clear, I would like to invoke guests' rights. And do I have your word that you or your... What would be the term for them? They're not quite...
Assistants.
Your assistants would not directly harm me or my companions. Do I have your word?
I swear that we will not be the ones to start any hostilities. Good enough?
And you will waive my accidental harming to your previous assistants?
Well, if I borrowed your hammer and you broke it, there might be a question of compensation, but again, it's not a... No, I'm not overly concerned about the dismantling of an object. So.
Then I will happily take the stairs.
Wonderful. All right, so everybody's downstairs.
Whatever tormented noise Shadow made when the shiny broke. 10 times as worse when they see Micah. Like, fully on top of Micah, all fours. Like,
it's
like, Chrissy, wake up!
It's heartbreaking, just the sounds pouring out of Shadow. They're just... It's an avian equivalent to a keen. Just this ululating, shrieking wail that just goes on and on and on and on and on. Mengel glances over unconcernedly. I intended to invite you into the office to have a seat. Shall we see to your friend instead?
That would probably be good.
As far as I know, these created things are incapable of casting magic.
As far as you know.
So I'm assuming there's something else that these things call boss that has yet to show up.
Mengel did say
I'm looking for those ways out.
When we asked if they were in charge.
I am looking for those ways out. I do not want to get into an enclosed space with this thing.
All right.
I was already in an enclosed space.
The created, the reflective-headed created, walks unhurriedly to the west. Anybody following or preceding will see there's a big set of double doors.
Hunter has something.
Yes.
He just wanted to say.
I had been alone in my venture pushing towards Micah, and this is the first time I've seen anyone come downstairs to see what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
With that, when Shadow approaches the body, I would be understanding of the concern, but as much as I could, pushing Shadow off to try to keep from smothering Micah. And as I turned to look at everyone else, I would probably rather quickly notice our new companions that I did not know were showing up.
Right. You've got a phalanx of the machines with a reflective oval-headed thing, obviously in charge.
I would be in front of them.
Yes. So, there obviously a lot of potential hostiles here. Every time you pass one of those opens before, they pick up a few more. So by the time you get over there, there's probably 20 of them, plus Mengel. And Mengel, again, from a distance, not getting too close. Oh, how terribly unfortunate. Glances over at the furnace.
What did your spirit do to my friend?
What did your friend, the spirits, attempt with my associate? And says a word. All of you hear it, but it's gone. It's a word that's not a word. Rev, you know things like that. And the two orbs that are circling each other, the one with the coloration of mica, shoots over to the side and comes out with an audible pop, arcs up. You can tell me if you want to go back into your body, Micah. If not,
are we still gonna do the conversation at some point with the?
Oh, sure. We'll lead with that.
Okay, got you.
Right.
Then probably. I don't know. I don't know how I would react to this.
Okay. Well, again, calls to like, and this is to some part of you. This is home. The ball of light arcs down, impacts Micah's body, and it's like watching a diver. And all the light suddenly suffuses his form, and the eyes open, and Shadow is currently going through their entire repertoire of telenovela sadness, cries in Spanish, So yes, but Micah just opened their eyes, so it appears to be all there.
Still making the most awful sound. Yeah. Like, I'm not paying attention, I'm just upset and panicking.
I don't know how I would respond until that conversation happens.
Okay. Do you at least offer some comfort to Shadow, who thinks you're dead?
I cannot guarantee that it would be my first reaction.
Shadow, you, even through your closed eyes and your wail, a very familiar light hits your face and comes through your eyelids.
Open my eyes, see Micah's awake, and just like their furnace is like up here, and I drop down so I'm not near their furnace, and I'm just like bear hugging their body, like right around their waist, flopped over.
Yes, you've got
upset bird.
You've got Micah in a complete octopus hug. Okay, probably have to be surgically removed at some point. All right, and that looks like a good place to end session. So,
was there a door?
Yeah, there's a set of double doors. It's actually they're like big, like slidey type doors. Closed now for the dust storm, but again, they don't appear to be locked or barred or chained from this side. So let's do end of session, and I'll tell you what you see next time. Check your alignment. Anybody hit your alignment goal? Stumac, now would be the time to mark that one for herring off after a mystery. You've definitely found it. Mark XP for that. For that key.
Will do.
For that key.
Mechanically took apart something to figure out what it was.
I am doing both my motivation of use magic to directly aid another with both the defending of Shadow with spells and then the healing. And then I am also triggering my key of naive and trusting. I absolutely believe that he will not harm any of us now.
Works for me.
Boy.
Oh, God. I also hit the merciful, taking apart that one we had on the way in.
Yes. Well, it was a sincere attempt.
I think I killed it. I don't know the spirit nonsense he's talking about.
Yeah, don't mark XP until you get that taken care of. But yes, that will happen. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Sure.
So the motivation doesn't have to be triggered by other players. The key does. Okay. Does risking my life count as exchanging a service freely given for trying to save this thing, or would that not occur until I actually try to save this spirit?
No, you made a concerted attempt and it caused problems for people. Yeah, mark XP for that, please. Anybody else? Check here.
I didn't take unnecessary risks. I didn't steal anything noteworthy. I was a good bird this time.
Okay. Check your blood. Anybody want to resolve blood with anybody? Anybody want to add any blood with anybody?
I'm gonna resolve blood with Micah, which was previously is the shiniest thing I've ever seen. One way or another, I will add them to my horde, and I'm going to change that to is one of my companions I would give my life for theirs.
You're gonna make me cry. Don't do that. Uncool. All right. Yes. That. Gosh. Again, this would definitely be a 30-second Ewok scene in the movie of this game. All right. So,
I think I'm also going to resolve a blood in this case, but it is with Micah. But in this case, this thing is far too alien to teach how to survive in the wild. I don't think I could ever do it.
Well, for certain values of survive and wild, when you realize that the entire planet is wild, a library, high tea at the library with the Duchess is still pretty wild where they're concerned. Micah does not have the same...
This is out of my depth. I can't do it.
Okay.
Micah
Best you can
will.
afford is pick up the pieces. Go ahead.
Micah would change theirs for Urkthor. They are not as dumb as they thought to remove. Not only removing that, but I would trust this person with my life.
Excellent. Wow.
I said I'm going to change that to I will pick up Micah's pieces.
Excellent. Either literally or figuratively. Excellent. Excellent.
And,
so make sure to mark XP for those folks. And
coming full circle, I'm going to change mine because mine with Micah previously was Mike is very innocent and I want to protect that. At this point, I'm not sure I can protect that.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Oh boy!
I can protect Micah from anything except themselves. Ooh.
Or
Ooh.
anything magical.
Ooh.
Or
Yeah, that was scary. Okay, so the big three. Did you learn something new about the world?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes!
Mendel.
I mean, oh, good, nice. Did
I'm
you?
freaking it, like, when you say faceless and, like, white, I think the Terminator frickin' thing.
Slender Man, but fat.
Mesoman.
Like metallic and
Yeah.
reflects things. It doesn't
Yeah, and
actually
it's-
take a shape.
And it's just the head, the
Not
body.
so Slender Man.
Yeah, not so Slender Man. Yeah, Dad bod Slender Man.
You know what? I'm sure there's art of that somewhere, and I'm going to send so much of it to you.
Please do not. Please do not. I have to
I'm
say
looking
that-
it
Too
up
many
right
robots.
now.
Too late.
That's like nightmare fuel. Just waiting to happen. All right, and then the last one. Did you? Oh, I'm sorry. Last two. Did you defeat a noteworthy enemy? Not yet.
I don't think so.
Did you recover a notable treasure?
I have a swirling swarm.
I
of
got
spirits,
bones.
and I've got a golden box.
I would say the swirling swarm of soul fragments. I think
We have the literal soul fragments.
more importantly, we recovered Micah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Oh gosh! Oh, maybe the real treasure was the friends you made.
The souls that Brevin have. Yeah, sure, cool. We freed their souls, but
Oh, okay. You all kill me. Thank you so much. This has been.
Are we going to get the XP for Micah, though?
for recovering my? Yeah, let's. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. That's. I thought I lost you, lad. I thought I love you. Bite you. I love you.
it's not every day you see someone's soul outside of their body.
Yeah, that's a real creeper. Yeah. And the
As
other one over there.
somebody who's been in nature for a long ass time, this entire complex is freaking Sumac out.
Yeah.
She wants to kill everything that is not living in it because it's
Yes.
not right. It should
Yes.
not be there.
Yes, this is a very Call of Cthulhu.
And mechanical
aspect.
things should not
Let's-
be talking.
Let's chop everything into inch-sized chunks. Let us dynamite the site, and let's put like 6 feet of concrete over all of it, and just make it a, I don't know, playground. All right. So, hey,
Golden stars.
yeah, gold stars are coming. So let's start with the creature of the hour, Micah. Who gets your gold star this time around?
Urkthor for the bonding that like Micah,
Nice.
like you made me want to bond with Urkthor a little bit. Very much of a like an older brother attitude, and it was charming.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And Urkthor, who gets yours today?
Right back at you, Micah.
Oh, thank you.
Sweet.
Some great pushing the story along.
Shadow, who gets yours today?
Ooh. Not for a cute reason, for a silly reason. I'm gonna give it to Sumac for the fireman pole that is Sidewinder.
Yeah.
I just love it.
It's called making an entrance sweaty. You should look into it. Hello.
My knowledge of snake crap stems from COVID and then watching reptile videos, so I know more than I probably should about that.
Wait. You're telling me you were bored and did a deep dive on something, and now we're basically a armchair expert on it? That never happens.
And roller coasters, and I don't know what else. I'm
We
an
need to do that.
encyclopedia of random, often useless crap.
I am a fountain of useless trivia. I know the origin of the word ketchup and was asked that, but that's another
Cat's
story.
up. In Victorian times, they said 57 different types. There were never 57 different types. It was just a marketing tactic.
You got to go back a little bit farther than that.
Yeah.
Who gets yours?
I don't know why.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry.
Yep.
The only thing my brain is going to is Uthor. The way you ripped that door open. Oh.
Nice.
Also, you haven't been failing a lot, so I figure you need the XP.
Honestly, yeah.
This is true. This is true. And Sumac, who gets yours?
I'll probably give it to Revan. I hate that you absolutely trust everything, but you're gonna talk to things when I certainly won't. So that's the reason I might keep you from dying.
I will.
Nice.
And the spirity things that I technically had a connection with nature once, and then nature got twisted. So you're pretty much the only thing I've got to do spirit dowsing.
You mean Bob is?
Bob.
Bob.
Oh God, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, on the suggestion of some of my players, I've been asked to reward a GM star, and I'm so torn. I mean, the Bob thing is just.
I had great moments today. Bob, Gimp Suit, my telenovela performance.
Yes, yeah, and again, you're definitely in the running. But then, of course, we got the Micah just really leaning into the alien nature of their character. Okay, first of all, it can't be for role-playing, because you were all stellar tonight. Okay, I mean, not even... Okay, you make me laugh, you make me cry, you make me go, oh shit, they're gonna hate this. I mean, not a bad performance in the bunch. Okay, you roll. All right, so it can't be for role-play. I'm gonna have to give it to Dev for the you made me roar with laughter. I scared my cat with the whole combination of things. So yes, you get it this time. All right, check your XP, folks. Again, level up is current level plus 7.
I did level up. I'm level 4 now.
I'm also level 4.
Anybody else?
Nope.
Ow.
I'm sorry, what?
I got a level 2.
Oh, okay, fantastic. All right.
I've got 5 from said level up.
So get me your level up choices between now and next time. Hey, viewing audience, thank you so much. We deeply appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. An actor isn't an actor without an audience. So thank you for tuning into our little creation here. Also, just as a side note, I want to send a shout out to a little organization called Skull Splitter Dice. Skull Splitter Dice, back when I was teaching, running a tiny little game club for a tiny little school in a tiny little town, they treated us really well. And they were the sponsors of one of our tiny little microcons called Transcontinental. And just, I cannot say enough good things about Skull Splitter Dice. They're beautiful. They're well worth the money. Look them up. I might even throw a link to their page in the comments here. But again, there's a lot of good people in the industry. There's a lot of sketchy people in the industry. These are some of the good folks, and I appreciate them deeply. All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for making my life interesting and painful. I mean, full of joys and triumphs.
My pleasure.
So, all right. So, Mr. Heston, if you could count us out, please. Tune in next time, folks. It's going to get real interesting real quick.